that nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. So we're going to present to you some opportunities this evening in ways that you can either utilize what you have or be able to start something new.
So everyone that responded tonight, thank you so much for attending. There's going to be some great information, but we're going to go through it a little bit quick paced, and we're not going to get into the details of all the nitty gritty, but we want to give you a general overview of what HomWork is, why it's important, how you can get involved, what the opportunities are for you, no matter what level, whether you're looking to get involved and pivot and get to a new business venture, or you're already in real estate, you have properties that you're either own, or you're looking to sell, or you're looking to acquire. There's different opportunities out there. And especially over the last 18 to 24 months, so much has changed. So we're going to tie all this together and share what we've been working on behind the scenes. Some of you may have been to Desiree's events, and you've heard little bits of what HomWork is, and might not have an idea exactly what it is. We're going to try to clarify that tonight. Getting started, there's all the struggles going on with the hotel industry, even pre-pandemic. So much has changed in terms of travel. Work and school from home became ever more prevalent in the last 18 to 24 months. And there's so many different lack of entertainment options. So folks that were at home, they were quarantined, they were with their family, they were working from home, taking the kids off the computers and handling pets, and always so many things that we're juggling. What we're seeing right now is, and we're anticipating even further, a surge in the co-living, co-working, and short-term rental industry. So combined, you may hear that co-living, co-working. You might be familiar with short-term rentals. Desiree is going to cover some of that a little bit later. Essentially what this is, it's space as a service. You have a space, you can offer services and monetize that. And we're going to show you how we've put together this program that it's all launched with our business in a box, no matter what level. If you're just getting involved as an investor, curious about the industry, looking for something new, or you are already well versed in real estate, this is going to be some great learning for you, and just pay attention. So who's this for? There's different persons that this may be for, especially in the last couple of years. You might be laid off, retired, soon to retire, transitioning into doing your own thing. For everyone that was introduced today, there's been a range of this already that we're hearing. So you might be in the right spot. As we go through these slides, you may say, this is for me, this is not for me. So we want to make sure that we're going to align, is this the right opportunity for you? Can you picture yourself in this position? Maybe you're anxious to pivot into something exciting and profitable. Everyone wants profitable, right? So we have an exciting opportunity of what's next. If you're looking forward to where you can look to invest in the future, or where you can look to change your career path at this time. You may have rental properties, and those rental properties may be sitting there vacant. You may be looking to renovate and trying to do something different with it. This is an opportunity where you can minimize your risk and maximize your profits. We're going to show you how to do that. You may also want to invest, but you don't know what that proven and profitable system is. So through all the research that we've done, through a proven practice, through Desiree has actually have these locations, and there's several properties already. There's different ways to go about launching your own HomWork location. And it's going to combine elements that are going to be beneficial as a community, as a membership group, as a business venture, as an overall network that'll help keep you engaged, energized into the future, and look to add more money. The exploding co-working, co-living, STR travel industry is constantly evolving. There's different players that are in the industry right now. There's different things that they may be doing. We have a niche market that we're actually going to be working towards, and Desiree is going to cover that in a couple slides as well. So let's face it, coming out of this pandemic, there's still a lot of uncertainty. You may be wondering how you're going to market and scale your real estate, or how you're going to get involved in real estate. under the current conditions. So we're going to show you that. So I want to share it with you, the person who's already doing it, and we're going to get involved with how to be successful, just like Desiree.
Okay. Hi, this is Desiree. I'm Desiree. So anyway, I believe I was born to be an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And when I look at this picture, I laugh because I think this first one, I'm thinking about my next idea, and then I'm smiling and laughing when I figure it out. So it's always been in my blood. This is a true picture. So I think that's what I was doing. But I'll tell you. So, but I've always worked for myself. I've been in my own business since 12 years old. So I've never had a W-2 or never had a job. And that's important in the sense that I've had to make businesses work. I've had different businesses, a lot of it in relatively the same industries, or just different aspects of it. But I've had to always support myself and my family when I got divorced and business. So I not only have what I studied and what I learned, because I'm a constant an advocate student, but the real life experiences. And I think there's nothing, experience is the best teacher. So if you really want to know how something works or doesn't work, you experience it, and those are lessons that are well learned. So I was a realtor, and then I became a broker, and then I was a real estate investor since 1989. And then I was a founder and CEO of Empowered Women. So some of you have been around with me that long, since 2007. And then I founder CEO of HomWork in 2017. My market has always been women professionals, because I felt that there's a lot of other experts and gurus and leaders in the male industry. But there, especially when I started in 2007, there was less in the women. And women just work differently. They love community. We grow together, we work together, and I want us to be able to flourish together. So in 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago, actually in February 2017, I was an empty nester. So all those years that I was waiting for my kids to get out of the house, they finally got out of the house, but then I was lonely because they were gone and out of the house. But I was single and I was an entrepreneur, and I wanted to continue to live in luxury properties, but I didn't want to live and work alone. So then they were gone, and had that freedom and flexibility that I didn't have before, to be able to move around. But I didn't want the responsibility. So I started looking around, and I knew there were co-living spaces, so a lot of us are familiar with Outsite, Rome, and Common. So Outsite, they have quite a few different locations around, maybe about 7 or 8 of them. And then Rome has mostly places in like Bali where they get a hotel, a small hotel, and then they have a central kitchen area where maybe 20 or 30 people share the kitchen, but each individual have their rooms, many times 2 or 3 to a room. They call them pods. Then Common is also another one, large one, that they have a lot of large properties where both male and female can live together. They live together. But then that's living. But then as far as when it came to working, I knew of the co-working spaces like the WeWork, we're familiar with WeWork, and then like Spaces have come up and they're pretty big now. And then the Wing, it was a female version of WeWork. And actually at one point WeWork invested in the Wing. It was started by 2 women out of New York that were in the financial industry. And so they've expanded now. And again, everyone knows about WeWork. And some people say, okay, what about WeWork? They had some problems at the time. The problem wasn't the model. The problem was the founder and the way he was spending money and the way he was managing the company. But the concept, of being able to share spaces was what really was still vibrant. And I know that most of us remember our parents saying to us, like, don't get in anyone's car, don't put anyone else in your car, and don't go in a stranger's house or let a stranger inside your house. And back in 2008, and the market changed, and people had to do something to maintain their properties, and had to start consolidating. That sharing space became popular, became acceptable, and now it's the way of the future for many reasons. But I didn't find the combination, so I kept looking, and then I thought, okay, well, let's create something. Let's create something that combined the two, and that's how we came up with HomWork. Home and work. So it was where you live, where you work where you live, and you do it anywhere in the world. So our vision was to be able to acquire luxury style homes and design each bedroom as a live-work suite. So women professionals and entrepreneurs can live there full-time, part-time, as in a drop-in. But we also want to have the different amenities, like we have a large classroom where we can have retreats and seminars and things of that type. We also have an office area where you can have smaller conferences and meetings and so forth. We have a studio with a green screen, and we have podcast equipment and video equipment. So if you wanted to be able to do that away from your home, you'd have access to that. And then a great space inside and out where you can do book launches and parties and things of that type. So it's just being able to accommodate your working and your living experience. And again, it could be part-time or full-time. It could be in different places in the world. So prior to the pandemic, we had started really going out there into London. We have 2 properties in London. We had some in Jamaica, 1 in South Africa, and we were on the way to expand. So obviously that was put to a halt in the pandemic, but we're ready now to be able to grow again. Make sure if you're not able to stay all the way through, and if you want a one-on-one conversation, then just hold your phone up to the QR codes. We'll have them sporadically available. If you put your phone up to it, you'll see, and a lot of us may know this from the restaurants we've been going to recently, you'll see the code and you'll be able to click in, just leave your name, first name, last name, email address, and then it'll connect you to being able to schedule an appointment so that you can have a one-on-one. Because some of you, like Bernard mentioned, there's all different people that are in different phases of their real estate. So this way, if it's not covered tonight, we'll be able to do a one-on-one with you. So that's the one way of being able to connect with us. So get ready. Co-living, co-working has been a real game changer, and it's a hot new trend and has many advantages. Now, you refer to it as a hot new trend, but roommates has been around forever. So we've been sharing spaces, and in colleges. Previously, it was very popular for the millennials or for digital nomads, but now the market has opened up for everybody. And so let's talk about some of the advantages. Community, being able to live and work, have your privacy, because all the bedrooms have work areas, but also you're able to come out into a community and be able to tap into somebody else to brainstorm, to connect with, to go to a happy hour with, if you're in a new city, to be able to orient yourself around the city with. So community is huge. You're also it's more economical, because most of the properties, they have all the utilities are paid for, all the common utensils like the paper towels and toilet tissue, things that are covered. Housekeeping is covered, Wi-Fi and all that is covered. Many times you have access to either pools or other amenities like the studios that you wouldn't necessarily have to pay for. So it's much more affordable to be able to have those costs and split it, or to pay one flat fee. So you'll know every month what your budget's going to be. You'll pay one flat fee. And even if you stayed in the hotel by night, you always get these surcharges and taxes and so forth. This way you just pay one flat fee for it. It's more secure. The properties are either gated estate communities, or they have their individual properties have cameras on them, so people can see people that are coming and going, but also people know that you're there. They know if you're gone, if you're going to the grocery store, you don't come back. You have someone else that knows what you're doing, especially again when you're traveling outside of your area. What are some of the other advantages, Bernard?
A big thing for co-living, you get those utilities are factored in, right? All the extra costs and having your own space. If you're co-living, it's shared expenses, shared amenities. You might not need a whole space to yourself, but you still have that the community that you can connect with, and not be alone. Especially if you're home alone, or if you're traveling. As you travel, you get to meet new people, you get to see new cities, you get to get new experiences. And live part-time, whether it's a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, you can kind of move around and enjoy life, especially if you were cooped up the last 2 years.
Yeah, you have a lot more freedom and flexibility. And you can travel light. You don't have to move into a place and get utilities turned on and off and get furniture moved and do all those things. You're able just to walk right into your suitcases and take in. And then I think when you touched on Bernard's loneliness was huge. And a lot of us realized or didn't experience that until the quarantine. And we realized that we really were pretty dependent upon interactions with other people. We missed them either in our workplace or our social life. So loneliness is huge. Loneliness actually is like number 3 life-threatening conditions, and because it leads to depression, many times depression leads to alcohol or drugs or other things that type different habits. So it's really, the loneliness factor is really, really huge. So be able to be part of a community, and then again have the option, if you want to coop yourself up in your room, you can do that and still work and still tap into what you need. So those are some of the advantages. It is definitely though, for a person that enjoys being other people. So one of the disadvantages is if you don't like being around people and like sharing things with people and like saying good morning to anyone, then that wouldn't be a good fit for you. But most of the people know that about themselves, and they would subscribe or participate in the community because they enjoy that.
And what about co-working too? Looking at if you're home or laid off, not getting back into an office, a lot of people have moved towards freelancing or real estate or insurance and a career change where they're working on their own. They just need themselves on a laptop. So if as they travel, there's more opportunities. They can travel across the U.S. They can travel across the globe. And work from anywhere. So what are some of these amenities that we're seeing in the co-working spaces that would make it easier for someone to just move around and be agile when they're working?
Yeah, that co-working part is huge because again, before it used to be a certain segment, mostly young people or the millennials or the digital nomads. But now, all of us can raise our hand. I know we know either ourselves or we know someone who's now working from home, because a lot of companies have realized how much money they were saving, how effective the people were, how more productive they were, because the home office never closes. So they're able to get more productivity and less expense for the people. So it will never go back the way that it was. It may slowly ease back a little bit. It will never be the same as it was before. And now, again, most people opt to do. And like for the reasons that you said, they're able to set themselves up at home. All they need is a laptop and a phone, and they can go anywhere and work. So with that freedom and flexibility, why would you stay? Why would you stay still? And if they say that before the pandemic, like 35% people were working from home, remote workers, now it's up to 85% are remote workers. So that number has changed, which means that now this opportunity or this business is for that many more people. There is a demand for more co-working, co-living spaces, and especially ones with certain communities. They have communities that specialize in art, where it's all artists. They have communities that are musicians, where musicians get together. They have some where all men, all women. They have some that love the beach, so they're surfers and they're water babies and bunnies, I guess, babes and bunnies. So there's different communities that have them. Ours niche is women professionals and entrepreneurs. And that makes a difference, whatever, being able to move it.
And especially now too, as folks are starting to get back out, some people are still not comfortable moving around and traveling, and they do want to stay cooped up at their room. Others want to get out. They want to get out and experience things again. They want to get out and visit places. So whether it's co-working, co-living, both, they may not want to go to a larger resort where other people are going to be flocking to. They may not want to go to a hotel where other people are going to be there. So, if it's a, we're going to go through some opportunities, but vacation home, vacation room, or a small rental, more controlled environments that can be maintained comfortably. So you're not like overwhelmed as you're traveling, something that gives a little bit more comfort and confidence so that they can actually live and work peacefully and be happy.
Yeah, that's a huge part that you mentioned as far as the touch points. Now, if you're traveling, you don't want to go to a hotel because hotel has all from the elevator to the reception desk. I mean, you have so many touch points in there where if you're still trying to be safe, it's harder to do that. And you don't really have, you don't have control of how often they clean or how often your space is cleaned. Another thing that you brought up was the co-working. It's different than the short-term rentals. Now, from our communities, we are creating an experience, not just accommodations. So yes, you can go any other place and just have a room and have a bed and have a TV and be good. And if you had to go down to the bar or go down to the other areas to be able to connect with people. But ours is an experience. When you go in, for the most part, you'll have someone that will welcome you. We have a community person that welcomes you personally, knows when you're coming in and welcomes you. And then also shows you around, shows you the different ways of using it. Because even using the coffee, I have to, sometimes we have to go through a training just to use a coffee machine. So being able to familiarize you with the amenities that are going to be available. And then we have different events. Now we have a lot of events from Taco Tuesdays to wine tastings. So now you're actually have an opportunity, if you didn't want to leave the premises, to be able to go and participate and meet the other residents and other guests. And then you're part of a network, you're part of a membership, you're part of a community. So, that's what we really want to emphasize, the fact that it's not just accommodations, it's an experience. So as I was thinking about all these things, And all these great ideas, there's numbers makes them either viable or not viable. So this is just a model. This is a pro forma that's based on, so that you can think, some of you have single family residences or you have long-term rentals. So just think about the numbers, at a glance. This is a 6-bedroom, 6.5 bath. So if you took that and broke it up, you had 2 rooms that you rented at $3,200, that's $6,400 right there that you'd have for 2 rooms. So you can think of those like maybe as your anchor tenants, those people that may be a little longer, but you've got your rent, covered. If you have 2 part-time and you charge $3,000, that's $6,000 for 2 of those. Those would be the ladies or people that are not there all the time. Perhaps they come to town consistently for a sales, maybe they're pharmaceutical sales, and that's one of their territories, or they live in Palm Desert and travel to LA all the time, or they have kids in college and they're constantly into colleges. And so rather than always trying to find a hotel, they're able to rent a place that's a home away from home for them. So that's the 6,000. Then say, for example, you had rooms, let's say 2 rooms or 1 room even at $200 a night. And that's based on 15 nights a month, not even the full 30 days. So that would be $3,000 a month. So if you rented that same house to a single family, you'd get $6,400. If you use the HomWork model, you're talking about $15,400. So again, even if you pull that, the numbers down, $3,200, believe it or not, is the average rental in most of the metropolitan areas. So that's a realistic number. So you have your operating expenses, you minus that, you have your net operating income, and then you have your mortgage payment. Say the mortgage payment as the owner is $5,100. So your cash flow per month is going to be $340 in one instance, or $7,600 in the HomWork model. And then your cash flow per year is $4,000, a little over $4,000 in single family rental, or the HomWork model is $91,000. That's a lot of difference. That's over 10 times more. So even if you cut that number in half, you're still 10 times it is a single family. So that's why it makes sense to be able to do a HomWork model, where it's the combination of the co-working, co-living, and you're renting out by the room as a renting out the house there. So I mean, think about that. So whether you have a 4 bedrooms, the same numbers could work at 4 bedrooms, 4 bath. Do your math. We just recently acquired a 12-door property in downtown Golden Hills, San Diego, and a couple of our ladies the investors are on a call with us tonight. And so now you take those numbers and do it by 12 doors. So currently it's, we've just changed these. Currently it's a boarding house, a rooming house for men that are on a fixed income. And they just remodeled it last year. So the lighting, the floors, the windows, all that's been redone. We're going to go in and redesign it, glam it up. Because now if it's men, we want to make it more women and fluffy and pretty. But they're paying $300 to $350 a week. For $1,400 a month. Okay. But in any short-term rental or any other thing, you can do at least $100 a night. So even in 1 week, if you charge $100 a night and only did it 6 nights, we're basically doubling the revenue. So that's how you can just take a property if you have a rental now, or if you have a multi-residential, so that you can just take the numbers and then multiply them by being able to do it. So the numbers work. That's why it makes sense to do whatever you have to be able to convert it into a co-working, co-living. The difference between co-working and co-living, people say, what's the difference between that and short-term rentals? Well, a lot of us know that some areas, the short-term rentals have been banned or prohibited, or in associations and things of that type. There's been a lot of controversy about it, and it's been a lot of uncertainty about whether you'd be able to do it or not do it. In our situation, we have co-working, co-living. There's no requirements like that. It's people that are living together, and you don't have as much transition. And it's just it's taken differently. It's like a boarding house or like a rooming house. That's what we have now. So we're grandfathered in to that. Or it's like having a hostel or having a bed and breakfast. So you can take it whatever direction you want, but it's just not as much controversy about it. And again, the numbers work. So when I say that we want more than just accommodations, we have created a community, and we have other avenues of being able to generate revenue. So rentals, again, and this one of the properties, we rent out the classroom area for retreats and for events, or for different special things. So you can rent it out, or you can do events there. People have like in book launches or different events. seminars, masterminds. You can get sponsors to sponsor different events, so that like our wine tasting and our Taco Tuesdays and things like that, we get sponsors that want that target market, so they will pay to participate in whatever capacity they want to. You can have affiliates. Affiliates are things that you would offer to your members. You can have products. We have products like we have phone covers, we have cups, we have towels, we have bags, we have journals, things of that type. So you can have products that you can actually sell throughout. Then it's membership based. So the guests become a member, and that enables them to come to the facilities when if they have open houses that utilize for different events, or they can go to any other membership. It's a one-time annual, rather, it's an annual membership fee, but it is another way to generate revenue. And that membership, to be able to keep the members together, we have different events. Like, and lots of events, like you can have a pajama party. The lower picture is a book launch that she had. The other one was a high tea that we had, one of the properties that we were introducing in Las Vegas. We've had smaller groups. This is a mastermind with Monique. And then we had another event, the real estate event. This is another mastermind that we have with small 4 or 5 people. So it can be large events or small events, depends on the facility, but it's great because again, where else can you be staying where you know that you can connect with other women? People have become friends, people have become partners, people have done business together. So it's a great way to network. We also have a magazine. So we have a magazine called Let's Talk Success. And every month we do a virtual tour where we interview women who have built million-dollar businesses, and they share their stories, the challenges, the victories, and secrets to success. So this is a great way for members to be able to come and join and meet each other. And then that way, say, oh, I'm coming to a city near you, or oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, whatever the case may be. It's another way to connect. And it talks to magazines have the different events scheduled in it. They'll have different properties, other host properties in it. We have different masterminds in it. So it's just another, we have a board of influencers in there. So they know that it's people that have other women's groups and organizations all around the world. So it's a great way to spread the word with our community, and also be able to give notice or give credit to our sponsors, give credit to our affiliates, again, to be able to announce everything. And every month is something different.
And each month you're at a different location. So if there's a HomWork location, wherever it is, I know this past year it's been tough to get around, but you've made it out to New York, Seattle. Where else have we got? We're in a few places.
Vegas, yes.
Vegas, yeah.
Yes. So, and yeah, so where, yeah, now that it's still tough, but once things open up, our intention is that we go to different cities. That way we can get different HomWork properties, and the members can actually be able to come to the Let's Talk Success events like we used to have. It used to be a live event where they could come in and meet the women and hear the interview and just be part of something. It was exciting. It used to be exciting. It will be again. We'll be back to that.
And then the week of, there's multiple events as well. I know you did a luncheon in New York at that location, and other folks, and networking opportunities and guest speakers leading up to an event. So if anyone's staying in these locations, they can participate in all these networking opportunities and meet like-minded individuals.
Exactly. Yep, I forgot about that. Yeah, we had a lot of fun going from different properties and having lunches there and wine tastings and things of that type. So you don't only come to our properties, you're able to see the other latest properties. And if you're a host, and if you're part of our network, then that's a value to you, because now all of a sudden you've got people that are coming to your property that otherwise would never come. And so most of the women not only do the short-term rentals or the co-working, co-living, they usually have sometimes other businesses. So it gives you a chance to be able to promote that as well. And these are some of the properties. Now, some of them may be the same, but some of we have one, and this is one in Jamaica. There's 2 of them that's from Brooklyn, New York. We have one in Marina Del Rey. We have one in Los Angeles. We have one in Rancho Santa Fe, this one here. So every month, the different properties would change as the different properties that we're featuring. So if you have a property, then we would feature you. And when you have your launch of your property, then we feature that launch. We do a whole page on your launch and about you, who you are, what you're launching, and we encourage everyone to come to your launch party. Like invite you to your open house. Like we have an open house that's scheduled for November the 7th. for our property in San Diego. So we would schedule a open house. So we invite everybody, even if they don't attend in person, we can videotape it. It just gives people promotion to say, okay, there's a property there. When I go to San Diego, when I go to New York, I could go click on each one. If you click on these properties, it has a video of the property. So most of the time it's the host that's sharing the video saying, hi, my name is so-and-so, and this is my property. So it's not just a flat, picture. You actually click it and you'll get know the person. So it's like a kind of a great icebreaker. So you walk into the door, you know who you're meeting, they know who they're meeting. And you know if they have cats or dogs, or if they're a yogi, if they're into music. So it's a great way to use other properties, be able to participate in other properties without just being strangers. You don't feel like a stranger. It's like, oh yeah, I saw you in the virtual tour. I saw you in the coffee and conversation. I saw you on here and there. And it makes a difference. And we have a book club every month. And that's to stimulate your mind, body, and soul. So this month we did, the book was Who, Not How. And that was a real life-changing book. So I read a lot of books and I like a lot of books, but this one made me act immediately. So I'm not going to tell you more about it, but get the book Who, Not How. And that will just really define a lot of things. We also had photo sessions here where we had the ladies that a lot of us needed new pictures, wanted new pictures. And believe it or not, some of these are our ladies. So we had a photo sessions, I think 2 or 3 times we did it here, where we have a location, the hair and makeup, champagne lunches, music. It was a great way to connect and to get some beautiful photos. And they were featured in the magazine. The other one we were featured in San Diego magazine because we have cooking shows here. So they come and do cooking shows. So if it's many uses that you can use your properties for with the community, with the members. And again, this gives you more visibility, more credibility, and revenue, because the more people know about your property, the more people will visit it. We have coffee and conversations. A lot of you have joined us in coffee and conversations every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Where our members get the chance to share their products, their programs, and their services to our community. We promote it to our full community, and they have an hour, hour and a half, and then they get the video. It goes out to everybody who is not able to make it. So they get that promotion, they get that, we're marketing, they get that marketing to other women in that community. So it's great because even people don't attend, they can still find out more about them. Like there's all these different information that we share for free. People just tap in and join us on our coffee and conversations, and we do it every Wednesday. So we would do it for each one of our members. And of course, being one of our hosts, you would be a member. So it's like, if you currently have a parental, or if you're ready to purchase an income generating property, or you want to get started with the lease option, lease purchase, or little or no money down, then the Business in the Box will be perfect for you. And this is a chance that if you want to know more, put your phone up for the QR code and you'll be able to get the form to fill out, and we'll schedule an appointment with you. The reason why we're doing it, first of all, because a lot of people say, I want to start an Airbnb, or I want to start a short-term rental, whatever like that, but I really don't know what to do, and I don't want to be out there alone and on my own. If I can shortcut the process and minimize the expense, maximize the revenue, and minimize the risk, then I do so. And you've been doing it for a while, and we've been doing it, and teach me how to do it. That's what it is.
Exactly. So the Business in the Box, there's a little bit for everyone, depending on where you are. So let's take the top line here for current rentals. If you have an existing rental, you're already a few steps ahead of someone who has no experience coming into real estate. If they don't know where to look, or what to look for, or how to get involved, how to find a property, think a little bit backwards of before you got involved with real estate, you might not know where to go. So in terms of identifying the right location, looking at the opportunities in that neighborhood, getting the demographics, getting the costs, getting the expenses. How do you start a business? What do you need to do to incorporate? What do you need to do for insurance and accounting and legal? So step by step of a checklist of pretty much how to go step by step to ease you into the process if you have no experience whatsoever. If you have experience, you would start at a later module where you come in and it's how to maximize that opportunity, how to use the HomWork model, whether it's looking at the amenities that you have. Maybe you need to look at the design of the location, the comfort for anyone that's using it as a co-living space, the amenities as a co-working space. Some of the things, Desiree, you mentioned that are in the locations right now are things like a yoga studio or a podcasting studio or on-site printing and Wi-Fi. There's different things that you need to have available to make it more amenable for someone who's going to be traveling and visiting that location, especially if you're going to be putting on these membership events. What is it that's going to draw people in there to that location? So we take a look at what you have in terms of the investment opportunity. If you're looking to get involved and find a location, or if you have one already, that's a vacation room, rental, a house that's empty that you're looking to monetize and has several rooms, using, if you have that 6 beds, 6.5 bath model that Desiree showed there, or even if it's 4 or 3 or a dozen, there's different ways to go about it. And each step of the business in a box will take you through modules. So there's about 10 modules altogether from soup to nuts, depending on what you're looking for. So if you have 0 experience, you start at module 1. If you have moderate experience, you might start between modules 3 and 4. And then once you start to get more acclimated, the later modules are going to show you how to maximize your profits, how to expand, and maybe expand to other locations or maximize the individual location that you have.
Yeah, that's, you just said it's like, perfectly, in the sense that it's so much easier for someone to show you and walk you through than trying to do it yourself. Again, everyone can do it themselves, but then whether it's getting the white towels and how to make sure you don't get makeup on the towels, or how to make sure if you have people come, how do you create a welcome reception for them? How do you do your menus if you're offering any breakfast or anything like that, or just how you lay things out, how you present things, the flowers, no flowers, candles, no candles. How to fold your towels, how to fold your sheet, your fitted sheets. Things of that type. Again, eventually you can figure it out, because if you want to spend the time YouTubing it and for the trial and error. But if you just want to say, hey, I'm ready to start something now, I've been interested in it and I didn't know how I was going to do it or how I was going to maximize it, then that's one of the reasons why you should partner with us. Because the biggest thing is that not only will you learn all those things, is part of it is course that you'll have, but another part of it's hands-on with me here. So you actually be walking through the process with your hands-on. But the most important part is that you're going to immediately be able to tap into a community of women professionals and entrepreneurs, a community that we've curated since 2007. So it's not new strangers coming in from the World Wide Web. There are people that have been a part of our community, and we'll be able to want to support, they're anxious to support and partner with you. So we will be with you not only to your launch, but on a monthly, we have a monthly mastermind meeting with other property and host properties, like what they're experiencing, what they're not experiencing, and there's always things to learn and always things to be able to do. So it's just being part of tapping into something that's working. You have access to our templates. You'll have access to the people that become members. You act as an affiliate. So you'll be able to get affiliate fee on everyone that has become a member as a result of someone that you refer to us, of the products, just all those things will be ready for you to be able to sell and monetize. So you don't have to start from scratch and do it alone. That's what makes sense. It's always easier to learn from a proven model than to figure it out. That's why you should partner with us. So again, the big thing is, again, buying into a community that's growing and an industry that's exploding. And even since the pandemic, and again, as I mentioned, that now is the perfect time, because people are, one, either laid off, transitioning, retiring, deciding what to do next. They realize that they like being that freedom and flexibility of not having to go to the office every day. But then how can they replace that revenue, that income that they were making? So some of you have a property already, or some of you want to invest in a property, or just be able to start that business yourself. So now, again, things have changed. As people, like Bernard said earlier, people are now, running to get out of the house and running to travel because they've been cooped up for so long. So they are roaming. they're free to
Yeah,
roam.
we're seeing shift. People are moving out of the bigger cities. They're looking for other opportunities outside. They're looking for where to go, and there may be an opportunity for them to work or live anywhere else. So right now is a great opportunity for them to find another location. They may, maybe it's just a stepping stone, and they have an opportunity to come join the network, learn from that group, and learn from the membership of what they need to do next. Maybe for them, the next opportunity is a different career. Maybe for them, they're looking for their own homework location, and then it'll start by visiting yours.
And that's absolutely fantastic, because everybody is in a different space. Everybody's doing something different right now. So some of you can have properties, some of you don't have properties. So whether it's just being able to how to negotiate a lease with the potential, if you don't want to buy anything right away, how do you get in and get started so that you can get that money generating and then be able to purchase a property at a little later date or purchase something else. So again, and nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. So now you have an opportunity to connect with us and to find more details. So count me in. Come in, yes. You can count me in. I think most of you know our style. It's not a hard, it has to be a win-win for both parties. And we're only accepting 12 people in our Business in the Box program. And so we're going to start off with that so that, we can see how that works. So only 12 people is going to be involved in it. And then once we go through that first round, then we'll be able to go more. But we're as concerned about our hosts as the hosts are concerned about the community that we're able to offer and bring to you. But remember, HomWork is where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. I mean, again, I thank you so much for joining us. And I really would love the opportunity, at least having a conversation with you, because if you're here, there's some interest somewhere in some way, shape, or form. So let's just talk about it. That's the best way.
Ask any questions you have, and we'll be really excited to take you through the Business in a Box if it's something that is for you. If not, maybe you know someone, and like Desiree said, we're looking for 12 properties right now to get involved and launch, especially coming towards the end of this year into next year.
It's a perfect time right now because you can do all your due diligence and do all your work and be ready to rock and roll in January 2022. Have more control of your life and your funds. Have a good night, everybody. And thank you for joining us. Thank you, Bernard.
Good night. Thank you.
Me through this.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.